It's sometimes spoken of that the sound of the bell is the sound of your true self calling you home. And for many, as they're listening to the sound of the meditation bell reverberate from the strike into the space of the room, as that sound reverberates, as you listen to that call, you may find your attention rippling out in the direction of the sounds, just carrying your attention into a wider perspective, much like a ripple on the surface of a lake, just carrying out, 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 out. Yet all the while sitting very still, settled in your body. Inviting the system and the body to come to rest. Much like dropping a stone through the surface of a lake and having it be held in this quiet lake of water and settling down deep into the water. The system can also settle down and in this way, while simultaneously the attention can follow this rippling sound of the bell into the room. Much like the surface of the water, as the stone passes through it, ripples in all directions. And in this way, the attention is invited to relax, to release. To release from a sense of having to be someone, having to get somewhere or do anything. The ripple expressing this reverberation of life, this resonance of being, like the resonance of the bell. You also might notice as the sound of the bell ripples farther out, it can seem to fade and become quieter, carrying the attention into this quiet. It could be that in the mind's eye, the attention is moving horizontally, like on the surface of a lake, as we listen to the bell from the region that we may associate hearing around the level of our ears. And it may feel like attention carries forward as though on this plane with which we associate the level of our physical ears, the attention carrying forward and back to the left and right. It's following this sense of the sound rippling. But as that sound drops into quiet, there may be some attention that also begins to open into a quiet that has no position. It may even feel like just as the edge of that sound, our attention can come to rest from tracking it. And in that resting, there may be a greater recognition of this sense of settling down toward the earth. Or perhaps opening into a wider space that includes the heavens above. So I invite you to this image by way of encouraging your attention to explore, just softly touching into all directions, and then being invited to just simply relax into a general state of awareness. No longer needing to track, getting a sense of even less doing, even this subtle doing of directing attention. As focused attention gives way to this general awareness. That quite effortlessly registers, receives the unfoldings of this moment, all content of experience. Of the inner and outer worlds. All arising to this one moment that's neither inside nor outside, this seamless moment. If you sense energies in your body, they may be energies of thought, emotion, or just simply energies, physical sensations. Turn some portion of your attention, just very light attention, very relaxed focus, toward these parts and encourage them to soften. As though indicating there's no need to hold anything apart. And if such feelings of holding continue, there's also no need to make anything in particular happen. There can simply be an offering of this sense of aware space that's available to whatever may move toward it or respond. Perhaps sensing that this field of awareness perhaps sensed as aware space, has a harmonizing principle. And at the center of any holdings of patterns of mind, emotion, body, there may be a response to this sense of becoming more aware of space to stretch out into or to be held by. Relaxing into that holding of this quiet space. Not trying to make anything happen, just offering this option by giving your attention to parts that may be drawn to this, while simultaneously having this relaxed attention, relaxed into this field of awareness that offers itself as this harmonizing arena. And for this meditation and for all expressions in your own mind and body that may feel separate or apart, we'll be exploring a sense of what it is to be home. In stating this word home, there may be certain images or sensations, perceptions that arise at the mention of the word. There may be a sense of what you might want home to be, or a sense of wondering what home might be. But in particular for now, I invite you to sense anything in your experience or in your direct knowing that feels like it's expressing quality of home already, right now. Opening to any sense of home that's already present. And in giving your attention to that sense, noticing how that sense and knowledge of home may change your experience. May influence your mind and body, your posture of being. Now, if there's a sense that's arising of any need to get closer to home, or to find home, or to know it more, a kind of movement in any way toward a notion of home, see if it's possible to withdraw that feeling as though you're tracing it back to where that movement originates, as though traversing that energetic back to its source, tracing any wanting or longing along that reach of longing energy back to its source, to its origin. And encouraging your system to settle in and rest down into any sense of the source of that seeking or striving, wanting. Releasing any notions that you need to find home, and opening to a sense of the simplicity of being. Prior to all seeking and striving, prior to any notions of lack or want. Feeling a sense of having returned to this simplicity of just being as you are. Long before any notions of needing to be someone, to get anywhere. or of having to do something. Resting in a posture of being available to however that sense of home or the source, the origin of simply being can register in your system, absorbing it as though your sense of that is more known and recognized in your very cells, in your marrow. As though you're recognizing home from the core. And home is residing and knowing itself in your core. Receiving a kind of saturation of this knowing, steeping in it. Just letting it flood your whole system. As though as your mind and body are saturated with this sense of home, there's a remembrance of the smallest parts of you to the overall sense. Perhaps a settling or a glow. Something quiet or vibrant, alive. Whatever your sense, inviting your system to receive and drink that in. As though you're drinking from the center out. From your very core to any sense of edge or boundary. Perhaps feeling that sense of edge soften, that registering of home, saturating your awareness beyond your local mind and body. saturating the space in the room around you. Inviting that sense of home. To find resonance in the room at large and in the world, however that might unfold. Inviting that sense to permeate any parts of your experience that may feel separate. Any expressions in the body or mind, in the room, the world. Just being curious about how any sense of home might inform these parts. Sensing home not so much as a place, but as a transmission. A sense of being. Possible for now, setting aside any notions of wanting to be at home, but rather to be home itself. Such that your being expresses, reverberating its expression as home.